Nearly 50% of women over 75 in this country live alone. That is almost half of us. And I guarantee you that almost none of us were told what it would actually be like. I am 87 years old. I carried mail for the United States Postal Service for 32 years. Same route, same neighborhood, every single day. I walked over 40,000 miles in my career. I delivered to over 800 houses. I saw everything: births, deaths, divorces, bankruptcies, love letters, final notices. I knew my neighborhood better than anyone alive. And now I live alone in a house where I do not know half my neighbors' names. I have been alone for 11 years, since my husband Robert died. My daughters live in Phoenix and Atlanta. They call sometimes. They visit less. I am not complaining. They have their own lives. But nobody prepared me for what this would be like. Nobody told me the truth about living alone as you get older. So I am going to tell you 5 things. 5 things they do not tell you about living alone as you age. Not the pretty version. Not the version where you find yourself and rediscover your independence and learn to love the quiet. The real version. The version I wish someone had told me. The first thing is that you become invisible. I do not mean this metaphorically. I mean it literally. People stop seeing you. When I was carrying mail, I was a fixture. People knew me. They waved from their windows. They came out to chat. Mr. Henderson would offer me lemonade in the summer. Mrs. Patterson would tell me about her grandchildren. I was part of the rhythm of the neighborhood. I existed in other people's lives. Now I go to the grocery store and nobody looks at me. I could walk through the entire Kroger and not make eye contact with a single person. Young people look right through me like I am made of glass. Cashiers hand me my receipt without glancing up. I am background noise, scenery, part of the furniture of the world that nobody notices anymore. I will tell you when it hit me. I was at the bank about 2 years ago. I was standing in line and I needed help with something on my account. And I stood there for almost 10 minutes while the tellers helped other people around me. Not because they were being rude, because they genuinely did not see me standing there. I had become invisible. This happens to old people everywhere, and nobody talks about it. You lose your visibility when you lose your function. When you were working, raising children, contributing, people saw you because you were doing something they needed. When you stop doing those things, you fade out of the picture. You are still standing there, but nobody is looking anymore. And here is the thing that nobody tells you. You start to wonder if you are really there at all. You start to doubt your own existence. When nobody sees you for days at a time, when nobody acknowledges your presence, when you can go an entire week without anyone looking you in the eye, you begin to feel like a ghost in your own life. I have started doing things just to feel real. I will go to the diner on Hamilton Road and sit at the counter just so the waitress will talk to me. Not because I am hungry, because I need someone to confirm that I am actually here. That sounds pathetic, and maybe it is, but it is true. The second thing they do not tell you is that your body will betray you in ways you cannot prepare for. Everyone knows you slow down as you get older. Everyone knows about the aches and pains, but nobody tells you about the specific humiliations. Nobody tells you that you will stand up from a chair and your knee will just buckle, and you will grab the table to keep from falling, and you will stand there for a moment terrified because you realize how close you just came to breaking a hip. Nobody tells you that you will reach for something on a high shelf and your shoulder will make a sound like gravel in a garbage disposal, and you will spend the next 3 days unable to lift your arm above your head. I walked over 40,000 miles in my career. My body was a machine. I could walk 10 miles a day in rain, snow, 100-degree heat. I was strong. I was capable. Now I use a cane to get from my bedroom to the bathroom. My right knee, the one that took all those steps, is bone on bone. Every step hurts. Not a little, a lot. But here is what they really do not tell you. It is not just the pain, it is the fear. You become afraid of your own body. You become afraid of falling because you know that if you fall and you are alone, you might lie there for hours or days before anyone finds you. I carry my phone in my pocket at all times now, even when I go to the bathroom, even in the shower, because I know that if something happens, there is no one here to help me. I fell 2 years ago, in my own kitchen. I stepped on the edge of the rug and my foot slipped, and I went down hard. Hit my hip on the edge of the counter on the way down. I lay there on the floor for almost 20 minutes before I could get myself up. 20 minutes. On my own kitchen floor. And all I could think was, nobody knows I am here. If I cannot get up, how long before someone realizes I am gone? That changes you. That fear never leaves. You start moving through your own house like it is a minefield. You grab the handrail even when you do not need it. You sit down slowly. You stand up carefully. You become a hostage to gravity. The third thing they do not tell you is that time loses its shape. When you work, time has structure. You wake up at a certain hour. You eat lunch at a certain hour. You come home at a certain hour. The days have rhythm. The weeks have meaning. Monday is different from Saturday. When you live alone and you are retired, all of that disappears. One day blends into the next. You wake up and you are not sure if it is Tuesday or Thursday. You look at the calendar and realize you have not left the house in 4 days. Time becomes this shapeless thing that just slides by without you noticing. I have caught myself eating dinner at 3 in the afternoon because I forgot to eat lunch and I was hungry. I have caught myself watching television at 2 in the morning because I could not sleep and there was nobody to ask, why are you still up? I have lost entire weeks, not forgotten them, just lost them. They passed, and I do not know what happened in them. This is more dangerous than it sounds, because when time loses its shape, so does everything else. Your sense of purpose, your motivation, your connection to the world. If every day is the same, why does any day matter? If nobody is expecting you anywhere, why get out of bed? If there is no structure to your time, there is no structure to your life. I have started making myself keep a routine, even when it feels pointless. I wake up at 6:30 every morning, even though I have nowhere to be. I eat breakfast at 7. I walk around the house at 10, even though I cannot go far. I eat lunch at noon. I watch my show at 4. I eat dinner at 6. I go to bed at 10. None of this is natural. All of it is forced. But without it, I would drift away entirely. You have to fight for structure when you live alone. Nobody is going to give it to you. Nobody is going to remind you what day it is, or tell you it is time to eat, or suggest you take a walk. You have to do all of that yourself, and some days you do not want to. Some days you think, what is the point? But you have to do it anyway, because the alternative is disappearing. The fourth thing they do not tell you is that silence becomes a presence. When Robert was alive, the house was never quiet. Not loud, but never quiet. He would whistle while he made coffee. The television would be on in the background. He would talk to me about nothing, just to talk. The house had a sound, a life to it. Now the silence is so thick I can feel it. It has weight. It presses down on you. Sometimes I turn on the television just to hear voices, not because I want to watch anything, but because I cannot stand the quiet anymore. Sometimes I talk to my cat just to hear a human voice, even if it is only my own. I will tell you something I have never told anyone. Sometimes I talk to Robert, out loud, like he is still here. I will say things like, "Well, Robert, what do you think of that?" Or I will see something on the news and I will say, "Robert, you would not believe this." He does not answer, of course. He has been dead 11 years. But saying his name out loud fills the silence for a moment. It reminds me that this house used to have more than one person in it. Loneliness is not just about missing people. It is about the absence of ambient human life. The sounds and movements and casual interactions that tell you you are not alone in the world. When you live with someone, you do not even notice those things. The footsteps in the other room, the water running, the doors opening and closing. It is all background noise. But when it stops, you notice. You notice the silence the way you would notice if all the birds suddenly stopped singing at once. I read somewhere that social isolation is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. I believe it. Silence is not peaceful when it is permanent. It is heavy. It accumulates. It becomes the dominant presence in your life. You against the silence. And the silence always wins, eventually. The fifth thing they do not tell you, and this is the hardest one, is that your pride will become your enemy. I was always independent. I took pride in that. I never asked for help. I worked for 32 years and never called in sick, except twice. I raised 2 daughters while working full-time. I took care of Robert when he was dying for 3 years and never complained. I did everything myself because that is who I was. Now that independence is killing me. I need help. I need someone to check on me. I need someone to drive me to doctor appointments that are too far away. I need someone to help me with the gutters and the yard and the things I can no longer do. But I cannot bring myself to ask. I cannot stand the thought of being a burden. I cannot stand the thought of my daughters rearranging their lives because of me. I cannot stand the thought of admitting that I am no longer capable. So I do not ask. I just do without. I let things slide. I skip appointments because I cannot get there. I let the house fall into disrepair because I cannot maintain it. I eat frozen dinners because I cannot stand at the stove long enough to cook a real meal. And every time I do not ask for help, I fall a little further behind. Pride kept me alive for 87 years. Now it is going to kill me. I see this in other old people too. We would rather suffer than admit we cannot manage. We would rather struggle alone than accept that we need assistance. We were raised to be self-sufficient, and now self-sufficiency is a trap. Because the truth is, humans are not meant to be alone. We are not built for it. We need each other. And refusing to admit that is not strength. It is stubbornness. And stubbornness dressed up as pride will take you to an early grave. If I could do it over, I would have asked for help years ago. I would have swallowed my pride when Robert first got sick, instead of trying to do everything alone. I would have told my daughters I needed them, instead of telling them I was fine. I would have built a network of support, instead of insisting I did not need one. I would have admitted that independence is an illusion and that all of us, every single one, will eventually need someone else. But I did not do those things, and now I am 87 years old, and I live alone in a house that is too big for me, with a body that is failing me, and daughters who think I am doing fine because that is what I tell them. I am telling you this because someone needs to hear it. Maybe you are young and you think this is a long way off. It is not. It comes faster than you can imagine. Maybe you have parents who are getting older and you assume they are managing. They might not be. They might be too proud to tell you the truth. Maybe you are old like me, and you are pretending everything is fine when it is not. Stop pretending. Living alone as you age is not a peaceful retirement. It is a daily battle against invisibility, against your own failing body, against time that has lost its meaning, against silence that never ends, against the pride that tells you asking for help is weakness. Some of this you cannot change. Bodies fail. That is how it works. But some of it you can change. You can build connections before you need them. You can stay visible by staying engaged. You can create structure for your days, even when no one else is giving it to you. You can fill the silence with music and voices and phone calls. You can learn to ask for help before you are desperate. And if you have someone older in your life, call them. Not next week, today. Ask them how they really are. Not the polite version, the real version. And then listen, because they might tell you something they have been holding back. They might admit that they are struggling, and that phone call might be the one thing that keeps them from disappearing. I carried mail for 32 years. I was on people's doorsteps every single day. I knew when something was wrong. I knew when the mail piled up that someone was sick or gone. I knew when the pattern changed. I was a witness to 800 lives, and I paid attention. Pay attention to the old people in your life, because we are still here. We are still standing on our doorsteps, waiting to be seen. We are just getting harder to notice. I am 87 years old. I have been alone for 11 years. I have made every mistake I just told you about. I let myself become invisible. I let my body make me afraid. I let time slip away from me. I let the silence become normal. I let my pride keep me from asking for help. Do not do what I did. That is all I have got. Take it or leave it. But at least now you know.